It looks like Death Stranding 2 won't be about making deliveries and delivering packages. The whole point of the first game was to rebuild a fractured society and make connections, to usher in an era of altruism and progress, throw away the stick and embrace the rope. Now, Death Stranding 2 dares to ask, should we have connected and was it worth it? According to the implications, Death Stranding 2 is shaping up to be a meta-narrative antithesis to the first game. Hideo Kojima is well known for communicating his thoughts and feelings through his narratives and characters. When he grew tired of making Metal Gear, he turned Snake into an old and tired man. When he got fired and abandoned by Konami, he crafted Sam Bridges, the loneliest man in the world. He always makes something unique, something personal, something else. I've watched the trailer for Death Stranding 2 about 100 times and have uncovered many secrets and hidden details. And yes, Death Stranding 2 is going to be something else. The trailer opens up with a frame showing a whale-shaped wooden toy. This is a clear reference to the very first trailer that launched back in 2016. Beached whales were closely connected to the Death Stranding phenomenon, so this was a subtle nod to the fans who were paying attention. The next frame shows a shape sorter toy with one of the shapes being a crab, also referencing the reveal trailer. We then hear someone whistling BB's theme, a melody that symbolizes the connection between Sam, the protagonist, and his father Cliff, who used to hum this melody to Sam while he was in a BB pod. The third frame shows some kind of a meter, an infantometer with black handprints iconic to the series. The baby is presumably Lou, the BB from the first game. After a long pause, we see something resembling a wooden ceremonial statue but crafted to look like Bridget Strand, the former president of the United States. The strands are now red, unlike in the first game, red almost always symbolizing danger or threat. We then see some pilgrims slowly walking towards a peculiar monument that looks like a collapsed bridge. The message about breaking connections and burning bridges is becoming more and more evident with every consecutive frame. To be honest, the trailer alone can be perceived as an antithetical narrative about burning bridges and questioning the connections we've made. Back in the prepper shelter, we see Fragile playing with Louise. Her name is written on the bib. The baby is well fed, happy and smiling. Fragile is smiling too. A pair of white wings are attached to Louise's onesie. We then see Sam's dreamcatcher, the one Amelie gave to him on a beach when he was just a kid. Fragile's probably keeping this as a memento from Sam, or they're living together, which is far less likely. It's worth mentioning that Fragile's skin is no longer old and wrinkled, but instead youthful and smooth. The virtual sky above them starts flickering and then the power goes off. Fragile grabs Louise and leaves the shelter. This scene's probably referencing Clifford Unger's escape from the Bridges facility that happened in the first game.
Being a father didn't make me scared. It made me brave. I'm sorry.
Pursued by an unknown enemy, at least unknown to us, Fragile hides inside the delivery elevator. The color changes from red to blue. She hops on a bike, some kind of a sci-fi unicycle, and drives away. We then hear gunshots and one of the bullets hits her in the shoulder. Fragile falls from the bike, just like Sam did at the very beginning of the first game. Louise then sheds a black tear, commonly associated with the mysterious star. A black figure points a gun at someone. We then hear a gunshot, but it's unclear who got shot and who's the man pulling the trigger. Fragile, also bleeding black tar from her eyes, is crawling toward Louise. She lifts her hand and then collapses on the ground. A black tar-like baby is materializing inside the broken BB pod. Just like Louise, she has wings, but now they're black and sinister. The drawbridge logo appears on the screen, and here we get to the most important piece of information in the entire trailer, the drawbridge logo. The first game asked us to reconsider using sticks, for they are symbolically used to drive people away. Death Stranding opens up with a quote from Kobo Abe's novel Nawa. The passage reads as follows: "The rope, along with the stick, are two of mankind's oldest tools. The stick to keep the bad away, the rope used to bring the good toward us. They were our first friends, of our own invention. Wherever there were people, there were the rope and the stick, but Death Stranding 2 does not ask for such distinction. The text under the drawbridge logo reads, "Both stick and rope, to protect and connect, together for tomorrow." To be honest, this sounds like a pamphlet for a private military organization. We'll be connecting, but also protecting, or perhaps even attacking someone or something. Sam Porter Bridges, the man himself, steps out of the shadow, and in the fraction of a second before he shows his face, we see a rainbow. The inverted rainbow in the first part was a side effect of a chiral buildup. The rainbow was usually a warning sign that BTs, the ghost-like entities, were somewhere nearby. Sam is old now, his hair gray and white, but probably not because of timefall. There is no timefall no more. Sam steps out of his prepper station, shielding his eyes from the light. This scene is cleverly referencing the opening scene of the game in which Sam and Fragile had to wait out a storm inside a cave. From the black tower emerges a metal monster, a weapon of sorts to surpass Metal Gear. Fragile invites Sam to set off on a new adventure, thus pleasing the ghost of Joseph Campbell. And then the trailer becomes even more confusing. Okay, so the next part may be a complete Freudian nonsense, but please bear with me. Death Stranding was always messed up, you can't deny that. It's a weird-ass story about a mailman who buries his mother and then sets off to rescue his stepsister that looks exactly like his mother.
Come and find me.
It's a Mario and Princess Peach kind of a story with a subtle Oedipal coating over everything. Everything we've seen in this trailer is just bits and pieces of Sam's past. The beached whales, the rainbow, the crabs, handprints, everything. The past is coming back, as Max Payne would put it. Your past has a way of sneaking up on you. You'll hear broken echoes of it everywhere, like a bad replay. The fractured pieces of Sam's bygone days are all mixed together into this narrative salad. The last frame shows a figure resembling Sam's mother, Bridget. Higgs, the antagonist from the first game, is somehow fused with Bridget's body. As he strums a chord on his bizarre sci-fi cool guitar, the yellow triangle indicators on the soldiers in the back transform into red exclamation marks. And then Kojima pops the question, should we have connected? We then see Sam holding a BB pod with a tentacle thing growing inside of it. Although the scene is probably a nightmare, the tentacles do resemble the guts inside Higgs's belly armor. The frame fades to black, and we're left with the Kojima Productions logo. Thanks for watching.